the band will tell you I always wait an hour before the gig because I've learnt my body clock and how I am with a beer. So an hour before, one beer, take it slowly.
I'm Alex Alicia. Today I'm joined by Mason Hill lead guitarist, James Beard. Hello. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm all good. I'm a little bit possibly overwhelmed at the moment because we just obviously started the new song last week, so pre-ordering the album as well, and I've sort of notifications on the band page and my page is going a bit mental, so I'm just trying to keep up with it, to be honest, so I don't miss any messages and just trying to make sure I get around to everyone and don't ignore anybody basically. But yeah, I'm good. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm really well, thank you. One of the things that has been keeping you super busy at the moment is, of course, your band, Mason Hill. You have been up to so much stuff, actually, during this time, which is quite rare, I think, because you've kind of got a lot of positives out of this time. How's it all been like, trying to have a band together, and obviously with the album and everything, which I'll talk about in a minute. How has that been during this time?
I mean, I think at first it was kind of normal for us because we had been recording the album since, I think we started recording it in November 2019.
Yeah.
So we weren't really rehearsing, we were recording, we weren't really doing gigs either. So that was kind of the way we've been. We've just been, gigs, for example, is what we do, but for the last couple of months we haven't, and it was normal at first. So we started getting back into rehearsal after COVID-19. It started to lift, but I'd seen the news yesterday, we're going back down into it again, so we've just had to cancel other rehearsals because of that. So it's up and down. Sometimes it's kind of like, oh, this is no different apart from the gigs, but now it's just going back to being strange again, I think, because we're ready to, we really want to make sure we don't forget how to play these new songs. So we've been trying to rehearse, but it's just, I guess, long story short, I ramble a bit, you'll find that out, but long story short, I don't know what to make of it, to be honest. I think me and the rest of the guys are just trying to carry on, trying to stay focused on it really and not let it just drop, because at first I think it was easy just to fall into the not doing very much mode. It's kind of difficult as well to get active on social media without content. Thankfully we have an album, but before that it's like, well, what do you do? So I think we're all just kind of improvising a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just trying to get through it.
I mean, obviously you just mentioned that you've got your album as well. It's called Against the Wall, and it's coming out now the 5th of March 2021, and it's now available for pre-orders. How have the responses been so far? Because obviously people have only been able to hear your new single at the moment, so how has it been going?
Great. To be honest, it's been really good. Obviously we had a massive help from everybody that contributed to the Kickstarter that started all of this off. We went down the route of doing a crowdfunding Kickstarter to try and boost the funds so we could do it right, do it really well.
Yeah.
So everybody there's obviously already helped us, and those guys will already get the stuff that they're entitled to get after they've contributed or not. But all these new folks that are coming on board since hearing the song, that's been fantastic. We've had a lot of loyal fans that have been with us from the get-go, and plenty of friends and familiar faces, but I've seen tons of new people that I've never seen before commenting on things and sharing things, letting us know that they've bought it and pre-ordered. So it's just great. It's just really reassuring because we obviously need to be confident about the songs we do, but to see complete strangers really reacting to it, it's just brilliant. So I know the playlists are doing quite well at the minute, which is new for us. We've never been a playlists.
Yeah, that's on Spotify as well, isn't it? All your music that you're getting slotted in between Black Sun Cherry and bands like that. How does that feel?
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, definitely. Because before, we've put little bits out. If you go onto our Spotify now, you'll see 2 or 3 songs on there, Hold On. Now You See Me, I think was 1, 2. and they've just been there to keep us kind of going through some things that we were going through a few years ago, which has prevented us from having the album out until now. So to finally have these releases come out and get attached to playlists with like the bands you mentioned, Black Sun Cherry and whatnot. I saw you did the interview with the drummer, whose name escapes me.
John Fred Young.
Yeah.
John Fred.
Yeah. That was great. So yeah, no, that's awesome, because I've been a fan of them for forever. I remember being a teenager with their song coming on in the radio when they first came out. Lonely Train, I think it was. Yeah. And so that was cool to see, and cool to be mixed in with those bands, because that's the kind of bands we love anyway. So yeah, it's really great. Yeah. It's been the weirdest process for us anyway, even without COVID-19. It's been the strangest way for a band to ever try and get an album out. But in November, when we started, all was well. Whilst we were doing it and we got on to finally getting it mixed, we found there was a couple of little issues with the vocal tracks.
Right.
So to get that sorted, we had to send the singer Scott over to New York to redo them.
That's pretty cool though.
Just as this. Oh no, that's Scott. I mean, Scott got a free little holiday there, so Scott loved it. But yeah, and so we were just back here in Glasgow getting the songs sent to us, and Scott's over in New York doing them. And then the lockdown really started to kick in, and Scott was in New York, and I'm pretty sure he was messaging us saying that he might not be able to get back. So I think he missed the cutoff by like 1 day or 2 days. So we really got stuck over in New York. So I don't know what we would have done without him, but we got back anyway, and then we got Chris Sheldon to finish off the mixing, which has gone really well. We've never worked with Chris before, but Chris has done many great bands like Foo Fighters and a couple more, so he's done a great job of it. Yeah. Can't fault it at all.
No.
I think he's given like a really good organic thing to it. Like I'm quite big on bands that have what's the word, like a lot of electronic things, like Bring Me the Horizon. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's maybe not quite where we are just yet. Maybe we'll evolve, I don't know. But what Chris did was just reminding me that what we actually are is just a rock band with some modern sounding songs.
Yeah.
And he's just really putting a good organic kind of sound to it. So the question was, how has it been though with COVID-19, I believe it was, but it's been strange. It's been strange, but it's all turned out great. So I really can't fault it, to be honest.
I want to talk to you about the new single as well. How has the reaction been for that so far? Are you pleased with everything that you've been hearing?
Yeah, apparently Germany really likes it. So that's pretty cool. In fact, just before this interview, actually, I was just checking messages from the guys, and there's someone in Germany, a part of some big PR company, that have caught their ears to it, and they want to put it out on radios in Germany now, so that's pretty awesome. Yeah. But yeah, this wouldn't have happened though without support from the likes of Planet Rock, and without those guys and a lot of like diehard loyal fans and whatnot sharing it about to begin with, wouldn't have happened in the first place. So to see people happy enough to wait this long and still be there waiting to hear us when we finally have the tracks is pretty awesome. We're definitely like proud and grateful for that, because it's very easy just to, like, you could put something on YouTube tomorrow and then never listen to it again. So to think people have been around still interested to see what we do after this long of not having anything, pretty awesome, to be fair. So happy with that.
Yeah, and you mentioned Planet Rock. Obviously, your new single has been playlisted on Planet Rock recently. They're really being supportive of the band and stuff. And at the beginning of the month, you played Planet Rock's Rock the Asylum event along with Bad Touch and other bands like that. You've obviously now experienced the new live show as it is at the moment. How was it performing without an audience and you know, being socially distanced and stuff?
It was really weird.
Yeah.
I mean, we turned up to the venue and it was cool to see at first. Like, they've got the stage there, so everything's as it would be when you turn up to a gig for sound checks. Obviously, the big elephant in the room being the big camera, but yeah, it was cool to see at first. And then when we got on stage to do the sound check, everything's just as it always is, apart from the they were saying to look at this camera, let's check this angle and everything else. So we just kind of were like, okay, there's cameras, we'll just go along with it.
Yeah, you swept
And
with
when
it.
it came, yeah, and when it came to the actual gig, it was weird because I thought that we'd just be like playing and just being like, oh, remember, there's no audience, but they are at home. But we were sweating our asses off. I mean, Matthew on bass, Mark on the rhythm guitar, they tend to be quite like, what's the word, like energetic.
Yeah, they're into
Whilst I'm a bit more reserved. I'm a bit more reserved and moody looking. And Scott really went for it too. So I don't know, something just like when we got on stage for the gig, it just switched on, and it was like there was an audience there. It was really bizarre. We came off knackered, sweating, buzzed, just as we would be for a normal gig. It was really odd. The only thing it missed, of course, was people being there. That was definitely missed, because afterwards you usually have a little drink with folks and meet them at the merch stand. That was obviously a downer, but other than that, it was really oddly similar for us anyway.
Yeah. Oh, that's good news. That's good news, because obviously a lot of people are saying that it's quite difficult, you know, obviously without the crowd interaction. Obviously, your front man can't go, how's everyone doing tonight? Because no one's going to respond, so that's quite awkward.
I mean, Scott just a few times did do like the, I can't hear you, and things like that. And it's, no one's there.
Right, I'm going to throw it back to the beginning of Mason Hill now, because obviously you mentioned Scott. I know you guys were childhood friends, is that right? You formed the band together in 2013 because you knew each other from school, which is really nice and also quite rare as well. How did you come to you know, meet Scott and decide that you want to do music with him and stuff like that?
Yeah, it was a bit of it's quite an old school way of forming a band, to be honest. I moved up from England when I was about 12 or 13.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And I'd been playing guitar since I was 9, so I got put into the music class with Scott, and it was around the time where many people hadn't really done much music yet in high school. So we all got put with the guitar in a little circle with the teacher, and they said, okay guys, this is a bar chord, do a bar chord. So the rest of the folks that were in the circle were kind of like, how do I, like that. But I was sat in the corner just like, because I'd been playing already for a good few years. And Scott just turned around and glared at me, and he absolutely hated me, because Scott was a guitar player.
Right. Yeah.
So our relationship formed out of hatred, and pretty much. But then, so we just played guitar together and whatnot. And one day Scott sung, and I just thought, I went, that was good. Maybe you're a singer. So then we just started some high school bands, and not very successful, but we tried it anyway. We tried our heart out. We actually started off trying to be a metal band.
Okay.
So we were doing all sorts of covers. Do you know the band Hatebreed?
Yes. Yeah.
Quite a So we were trying to do Hatebreed and Lamb of God and all that stuff. And it wasn't. I mean, the bands are great, but we weren't great. So Scott. As we went on through high school, we had to do sound production together, and we did a cover of Thin Lizzy, which is a bit more singing, a bit more melodic. And Scott nailed it. So at that point, we were like, "You're a singer." So we stopped screaming, went on to the singing, and we just kept trying. Then we had a little high school band, moved on, and formed Mason Hill. We just old school again, went to Gumtree. Recorded some demos and went to Gumtree, and then Craig came along. Strangest audition ever, because he turned up to the audition, he hadn't learned the songs, went away thinking, I don't know about those guys. And we were like, what? You didn't learn the songs? But nonetheless, it all turned out well. Craig joined the band, and we just kept going on. We found a way to do some gigs in local clubs in Glasgow. Some people saw us, said to their friend, "I'll get them on this gig," and then we just kind of went from there. And we just kept word of mouth was massive for us. I mean, it has been massive for us since day one, really, word of mouth, because we've not had any content. So word of mouth has forever been our friend to get us to this point.
Yeah, and I mean, for you, obviously you said you've been playing guitar since you were 9. Do you remember the first time that you ever picked up a guitar? Which one was it? And do you remember the first song that you ever learnt to play?
Yeah, the first guitar I had, I don't remember the name of it. I could probably find out, not right now, but it was like a really cheap, like your standard kind of, I don't know, £50 guitar or something with a little crappy amp. My dad actually made it better though, because he was a graphics designer, so he designed the Iron Maiden Eddie face.
Oh, amazing!
Like a sticker, the whole thing. So the whole body ended up being Eddie's face, which was cool. But the first song that I learned was Jingle Bells.
I'm assuming it was near Christmas, because if not, that's a bit weird.
It wasn't near Christmas.
Finally, have you got a message that you'd like to send out to Mason Hill followers, fans?
Especially during this time, with everything that's going on, and the fact that we've got this album coming out in the strangest of scenarios, and we could never have expected this, like truly. It's also caused the album to be delayed when we told people in the past, the album's coming out here and you won't have to wait anymore. Sure enough, it's happened. So really just a massive thank you, you know, just it's amazing to have such loyal fans and friends that have been there with the band. And to all and anyone that has just discovered us, we hope you enjoy the single and continue to listen to us, and it's not turned you off. I hope the single is bringing them in, and it's not going to be like, this is shite. But
no,
yeah,
I'm sure that's the case. I'm sure people are all loving it, as you know, your current followers already are and stuff. Well, thank you so much for chatting to me, James. It's been an absolute pleasure, and finally to meet you as well. And I hope you're feeling better, because you told me you weren't very well after the Roxy Asylum gig last couple of weeks
it's
ago.
one of those things. Yeah, it's odd. Like when you feel a bit unwell, the first thing you think and everyone around you thinks is, you've got COVID-19. So
yeah, you made it very clear that it wasn't that.
I felt like I had to, but yeah, no, thank you very much for having me, and thanks for being patient with me, so I appreciate that.
It's been fun chatting, and obviously massive congratulations again on the new album, and obviously the new single and the video that's coming out. I can't wait to see it and hear it all. So yeah, good luck with everything, good luck with your tours next year, and hopefully I can catch you at a gig sometime soon.
Absolutely, it'd be great to meet you in person, so yeah, please do come along when we can finally do it.
Of course. All right then, James. Thank you so much for chatting. Have a lovely evening. See you later.